From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us here at 7 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starrentino. The Marion County Health Department is pinpointing hotspot areas that are being hit hard by COVID-19.
WRTV's Stephanie Wade went to one of the hot spots today to share the unique challenges the community is facing right now.
According to the health department, the Latino community has experienced more cases of COVID-19 in Marion County. So we came here to the west side to speak with leaders and see why. In Indiana, Latinos account for 7% of the state's population, yet 21% of our COVID cases. Often working in essential services means they're out in the community more and at a higher risk of contracting the virus. Plus, they lack access to health care and have more people living in households together. According to the Marion County hotspot map, the highest amount of cases is in the 46204 zip code downtown and on the west side of Indy. The latest location for the health department to add a testing site near 38th and Lafayette. A good thing, Marlene Dotson with the Indiana Latino Institute says, because their community simply is not getting tested enough.
Do they have and can they take pay off time from work to be tested? Do they have someone who can watch their kids while they're getting tested? Will there be someone at the side who can speak Spanish and be able to translate for them?
Because of all of these barriers and inadequate personal protective equipment, she says most Latinos don't realize how harmful COVID-19 truly is, hoping to bring attention to this very issue and save more Hoosier lives. Stephanie Wade, WRTV.
Marion County, with the state's largest population, has seen the most coronavirus cases, more than 17,000. Today, the Department of Health reported an additional 841 cases across the state and 15 deaths that took place between August 21st and yesterday. As of Monday, the State Department of Health says 987 people are in the hospital with COVID-19.
Checking in now, Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory. And Kevin, we saw a lot of sunshine today. What are we looking at now?
Pretty calm, pretty hot, pretty humid. The thunderstorms that built because of that sunshine and humidity have all but faded away. We'll show that to you here in 1 second. You can see the yellows of the cooler colors. That's where the thunderstorms sit at this hour. We're down 3 degrees from the high in Indianapolis, currently at 89, 91 the temperature in Lafayette. We've got one more in us where temperatures will reach 90 or above tomorrow. We'll be close on Thursday, but I think clouds and thunderstorm development will keep us from hitting 90 degrees. We're close to that right now. Last hour or so, you see the showers and thunderstorms in the southeast portion of the viewing area, Batesville, Brookville, fading away as they go south of Cincinnati. Unlikely to return, but I would say until the sun sets, we could have an isolated shower or thunderstorm south of Interstate 70. But again, as the shadows grow longer and we cool the atmosphere, they're less likely. All week long, humidity is with us. We'll talk about when that disappears, at least for a while, and why Thursday and Friday more likely for widespread shower and thunderstorm activity. That's coming up.
Postal workers gathered in Carmel today to voice their concerns about delays to mail service and how it is affecting your life. The Postal Workers Union is protesting cost-cutting measures to the U.S. Postal Service, including slashing overtime and getting rid of mail sorting machines. Doug Brown, Indiana State President of the American Postal Workers Union, also says many post offices are short-staffed. They're asking Congress to provide some financial relief.
So what we're here today is to let people know that as postal workers, we care about getting medications mailed to our seniors. We care that veterans aren't getting their medications delivered timely. We care about people in rural areas that don't have broadband or internet access that use the mail for their business transactions. We were brought up in a culture to deliver every piece of mail, every package, every single day.
Postmaster General Louis DeJoy says overtime will continue to be approved as needed and that retail hours at post offices will not change. And on Monday, DeJoy answered more questions on Capitol Hill about how these changes might slow down mail-in ballots this fall. Again, he told lawmakers the Postal Service can handle the influx of election mail. He clarified that even though some changes have been suspended, recently removed mail sorting machines will not be removed.
In-person classes are back in session for many local school districts. We've been hearing from school bus drivers who want more safety features added to their vehicles. But WRTV Investigates Rafael Sanchez has found out those requests will be denied.
It's one of the few things COVID-19 did not delay.
Bumper down for low air.
Like clockwork.
Good, good, good.
State law requires school buses to be checked every year. State police teams are tackling this task.
We check everything from the front of the vehicle to the rear of the vehicle, which includes all the lights, major mechanical issues as far as the bumper, the frame, the axles. We check all the braking systems.
Buses 12 years and older get a second look during the year.
It's for the safety of the passengers.
Release! The inspector's checklist is extensive, and failure to comply can force the bus to be pulled from service. Can we add other safety features? State police, would you allow this to happen?
Currently, right now, we cannot allow it to happen because it has to be approved by the Department of Education and the State School Bus Committee for Transportation.
Public transit systems, like Indigo, added plexiglass like this to shield the driver from the passengers. School bus drivers hoping to see a similar change, or parents hoping to see hand sanitizing dispensers on the buses will not see it.
As of right now, currently, they cannot have the alcohol hand sanitizer stations mounted in the bus because it's not approved. You can still have a small passenger, the kids can still carry their own, the driver could have their own, but as far as the plexiglass going on there, they cannot have the plexiglass because it's not approved yet for the inspection process.
From top to bottom, the checkups are complete as schools cruise into a new academic year. Working for you, Rafael Sanchez, WRTV.
More than 14,000 buses are inspected statewide. Hundreds of buses undergo random checks as well. You can always check your child's state inspection. We have that information for you at WRTV.com.
There's a grassroots effort gaining traction as more people learn just how much the town of Speedway was impacted by Sunday's fanless Indy 500. WRTV's Troy Washington shows us how it's going and why they still need to raise the funds.
IMS and all of the wonderful folks over there, the drivers, everybody associated with IndyCar was really disheartened when we weren't able to have fans in the stands. Fans is what makes everything go around here in Speedway.
Without their biggest fundraiser of the year, the golf tournament held the Thursday before the big race usually brings in the big bucks for the nonprofits who rely on that money throughout the year.
We're really seeking a broader audience as well. The Indy 500 gives us access to race fans from all over the world, and all of their contributions during race day typically help us out as a small community.
Without that help, Speedway organizations are about $272,000 in the hole. Last week, WRTV told you about the problem. Today, we're telling you about how the town of Speedway and the Exchange Club is working together to solve it.
We're a town of only 12,000 people, and so we're having to push a grassroots campaign here now to try to spread the word.
They've started this GoFundMe to reach beyond their town. The Exchange Club of Speedway is hoping the effort catches on to keep them from cutting back on their contributions.
We give back to other organizations. We've given over $1.2 million to the Children's Bureau here in Indianapolis over the last 20 or 30 years, and that impacts our ability to do that this year. We give back scholarships to all of the local schools, and again, that's going to impact our ability to do that. So we're just seeking new alternative ways, working in conjunction with the town to try to make that happen this year. Even organizations like the Speedway Trails Association is going to have to make operational decisions on how they're able to spend their money this year more wisely.
The town believes they'll make up the difference as long as the word spreads and the grassroots effort keeps picking up steam. Working for you in Speedway, Troy Washington, WRTV.
Still ahead on WRTV News at 7, a closer look at the Trump campaign's game plan to repeat the success of 2016 and how Democrats are countering the efforts.
But first, concerns about safety on the Monon Trail. A woman's husband now on a ventilator after being hit by a motorcycle. What we have learned about the area and safety improvements to the trail.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
Tonight, WRTV is continuing to listen to you about your concerns about safety on the MONON Trail. We got an enormous response from viewers after we first aired this story, and we've asked those in power to see what they can do to help. A woman is sharing what happened to her husband while biking on the trail in hopes of saving others. She wants to call attention to what she calls a major problem. WRTV Stephanie Wade shares their story and gets the city's response.
Katie Swaney's husband, Jack, rides his bike every night.
Usually he's gone a few hours. It's pretty standard. Around like 9:30, I started realizing he wasn't home.
But last Wednesday evening, he never made it back. His phone going straight to voicemail. Then the call came in.
I already knew, like right when that happened, I just knew it was the hospital most likely.
It was Methodist Hospital informing Swaney that her husband had been hit by a motorcycle while riding along the MONON Trail and crossing this busy detour at 38th Street.
When I saw him, I just fell to the ground crying. Sorry, I'm probably going to start getting emotional.
Jack was rushed into surgery with 2 collapsed lungs, a compound fracture in his femur, his spleen removed, 4 broken ribs, and the list goes on. He was even on the ventilator at one point. The motorcyclist also taken to the hospital. The worst part, Swaney says, because of COVID.
It's really terribly sad that we can't be there with him.
Now, this isn't the first crash she says she's seen on the MONON Trail.
I just can't even count anymore how many accidents we have seen.
Saying she feels the signage isn't very clear, alerting drivers to watch for pedestrians.
I would love to see stop signs, minimally some kind of signage that is very clearly stating who has the right-of-way that drivers can see.
And cyclists and pedestrians often put themselves at risk at these busy intersections.
I mean, obviously nobody's walking out or biking out into oncoming traffic on purpose. And then a car just comes barreling around the corner. 52nd is terrible as a driver as well. You can't see past the bushes. You can't see when there's people coming.
DPW says where Swaney's husband was hit near 38th and Winthrop is a temporary detour while they build a new bridge carrying the MONON over 38th in order to improve safety. Jack's family has this message for people behind the wheel.
Slow down. There's nothing that is worth a life. There's absolutely nothing.
Stephanie Wade, WRTV.
Per Indiana law, drivers should always yield to the right-of-way to trail users. DPW says many of the MONON Trail intersections include flashing beacons or signage for vehicles that say yield to trail users or something similar. There is also signage on the trail notifying cyclists and pedestrians of the upcoming intersection. Though pedestrians do have the right-of-way, there is signage encouraging them to stop to ensure drivers see them and are in fact yielding. Today we learned from the city that the construction zone where Jack was hit is a side effect of the city's efforts to address safety issues. We've also learned there are no other planned changes to address trail signage.
And thunderstorms coming to an end across central Indiana, but look at the string of storms from Cincinnati to the nation's capital. We'll talk about our late week changes and a rising rain chance coming up.
Tonight, people along the Gulf Coast are getting ready for Laura, which could hit as a major hurricane. The storm is gathering strength in the Gulf of Mexico. In Louisiana, hundreds of oil and gas companies rushing to evacuate workers off their rigs. And parts of Texas are under mandatory evacuation orders. 25 members of Indiana Task Force 1 have deployed to help along the Gulf Coast. Kevin.
And potential impact for the Hoosier State will come, I think, Friday night. Well, later Friday into Friday night and early Saturday. We'll put this in motion. You can see Category 1 storm now, 80-mile-per-hour winds. It looks like the early morning hours, Thursday morning at about 2 or 3 is when it comes on shore in the Texas-Louisiana area. And the latest model runs bring remnants closer to the Ohio River and then sweep it off to the east by the time we get to midday on Saturday. As far as the showers and thunderstorms, last 3 hours you see those fire up and then simmer down. As we go over the next hour and in 15 minutes or so until we get to sunset, could have a pop-up shower, but again, those are fading away. Temperatures 82 in Connorsville. You've had the most recent rainfall. You're cooler. Well, it's still above 90 in Lafayette, right at 90 in Terre Haute and Indianapolis. Our temperatures will stay warm tonight and humid. These overnight lows around 70, but you'll see within the 7-day forecast we'll get some lows back into the 50s on a couple of occasions. That'll feel pretty good compared to this. Temperatures just not really cooling off during the overnight. Gives us a good jump on afternoon highs. That again tomorrow, third day in a row, temperatures will move into the low 90s. Then you can see what happens. Temperatures will cool off as our rain chances come back up. Thursday, Friday, our temperatures go down. Humidity will not disappear from the scene, though, until we get to Sunday. That'll be the most noticeable change in the forecast as we get late in the weekend and early next week. High temperatures tomorrow. We should be dry. Temperatures in the lower 90s. It's hazy sunshine, though, not a crystal clear sky. As you look at Thursday, clouds in the morning. In the afternoon hours, we start to pepper the area with showers and scattered thunderstorms. With the humidity the way it is, that means we would have all-out downpours when we catch these thunderstorms, just like some of you had today. The rain didn't hang out in any one spot that long, but you can see rainfall intensity can be pretty high. Temperatures Thursday morning, 75 to begin the day, only warming into the mid-80s, maybe a little warmer, just depending on the coverage of thunderstorms. From north to south, here's some other high temperatures. During the day on Thursday, we'll continue to cool after that, Friday into the weekend. First part of your 7-day forecast. Friday's 87. If you're looking for the comfortable temperatures I was mentioning, check out Sunday and Monday morning in the 50s. But from Saturday through Tuesday, afternoon highs struggle to get to 80 degrees.
The Republican National Convention continues tonight, and while it's still anyone's guess as to what will happen on Election Day in 10 weeks, if President Trump can win the same states he won in 2016, it's a done deal. But the polls show it won't be that easy, so Republicans are hoping to win some states that went blue last time. Joe St. George shows you where the Trump campaign is hoping to upset Democrats.
From Washington, D.C.
It may be live from D.C., but the intended audience for the RNC is nowhere near the Washington Monument. The speeches this week are targeted at voters in Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Florida, Texas, Arizona, and Pennsylvania, all swing states this year that went red for President Trump 4 years ago. If he wins them again, he gets to ride in Marine One for 4 more years. But President Trump's campaign knows there are question marks. Polls indicate each state potentially could turn blue, which is why President Trump may need to win a state won by Hillary Clinton. And while the campaign is investing in states like Nevada and Colorado,
people, Minnesota, thank you very much.
Minnesota is emerging as the biggest target. It's a state Republicans haven't won since 1972. That's their longest losing streak. Trump spent just $30,000 there in 2016. He's expected to spend $10 million plus this year.
It's a state we think we're going to play very well in.
Trump campaign advisor Hogan Gidley says Trump's making a play because 4 years ago, he came very close.
In 2016, we only lost it by 1.5%, 44,000 votes.
Minnesota Republican Party Chair Jennifer Carnahan says Republicans can pull it off by turning out the vote in rural Minnesota, where she says voters are very different than those who live in Minneapolis.
The support for our president in those parts of Minnesota has grown.
The Republican play for the land of 10,000 lakes isn't just wishful thinking.
They have the largest campaign on the ground in the state of Minnesota.
Ken Martin is chair of the Minnesota Democratic Party and says while Republicans could win, the Biden campaign is staffing up fast and investing in more ads to prevent that.
The cavalry's coming.
In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
Well, the heat sits to our west. Not that we weren't warm today, but we'll be warm again tomorrow with the temperature right at 92. As the temperature comes down Thursday and Friday, our rain chances will increase. Friday's high 87 with scattered thunderstorms. Amanda?
Thanks for making WRTV your choice for news. Our next newscast is tonight at 11. We hope you join us.